Welcome to my channel Programming with Vishnu. Today we are going to discuss about Java control statements. What is Java control statements? Okay, first we'll understand what is Java control statement. See what will happen when you write a program. Suppose if you are writing a multiple lines of a code, first line, second line, third line, fourth line, five, n number of lines. Okay, what will happen? The compiler will execute the code line by line. First line, second line, next third line, fourth line to the end. It will execute in the sequential order. So, but whenever we want to execute certain code, suppose see we have these four lines, next we have these five lines, but these lines has to be executed at one kind of situation. Suppose at one point of time it has to execute, at one point of time it has to execute. We have to restrict the execution of a code. How will restrict? By using the conditional statements only. Now see what are the conditional statements we have. We have different types of conditional statements. If you see here, same I written here, Java compiler execute the codes from top to bottom. Whatever I explained, such statements are called control flow statements. How many types we have control flow statements? Decision making statements, loop statements, jump statements. Decision making statements means whatever I explained just now. Suppose if you want to execute some piece of code, okay, when the condition is true, if you want to execute some piece of code when the condition is false, that kinds you can use conditional statements. Okay, conditional statements. What are these conditional statements are? If, else, then next one is switch statement. Okay, if, else, switch statement. Okay, now what is the next type? What is meant by loop statements? Loop statement means suppose you have a piece of code, it has to execute n number of times. Same code has to execute n number of times on based on the condition. Here what will happen? Here in the above if else, this code or this code will get executed when the condition true or false only one time. But in the loops, the code will get executed n times. Okay, that is called loop statement. What are we have the loops? For loop we have, do while loop we have, while loop. Okay, then we have for each loop. Okay, these are the loops. Then what is the jump statements? What is the jump statements? See what will happen. Suppose if you are executing on program, consider you are executing on program 1 2 3 4 5 6. Suppose you want, this is your, consider this you are executing in a loop, means executing n times. But suppose at point of some condition you don't want to execute this code, okay, then you can write continue statement. This code will execute, not execute, again it will come loop. Suppose you don't want, suppose some condition satisfied at this point of time, condition satisfied. Okay, cool. Then you have to break the loop, then you can use the break statement. So there are two types of jump statements. What is the first one is continue, next one is break. We'll discuss about this all the things deeply. Just now I'm just providing the overview of the what are the different types we have. Okay, now if you see, now today we are going to discuss about particularly if, else, if. See, we call it as if else statements. If else statements. What is this if else statements? As I explained already, understand there is a, we have a, consider there is a class. In the class we have multiple lines of code. Consider first line, second line, third line, okay, fourth line. Consider I want these two lines as to execute whenever my condition is true. Whenever my condition is true, I want these two lines has to execute. Suppose if the condition is true, this has to two lines. Suppose the condition is false, then this has to execute. In this kind of situations, we will use if else statements. Suppose if you see here, observe, okay, this is the why we are using here Java statement used to test the condition. We are using to test the condition. See what it will check, true or false. Boolean values means true or false. Okay, there are different types of if else statements. First one is if statement. Sir, you said if else. If statement means, suppose if see here whatever we discussed, suppose you don't have the two situations. Suppose you have one piece of code, you have a piece of code which contains 4 lines. You just want to execute this piece of code alone only when the condition is true. You don't have any, you don't want to run anything when the false. That time you can alone use if statement. Okay, when you required only true condition has to execute some code, then if you go alone for the if statement. If alone statement, this one if statement. Suppose if you want to execute the code on based on the true or false. Suppose if true means you have to execute some set of piece of code, false means some set of piece of code means, then you can go for if else. Here it will check for the true or false. Suppose consider how many conditions you can write here. You can check only one condition here. You can check only one condition here. Suppose if you want to check more than one condition, okay, then you can go for the if else ladder statement. I will explain what is this. Okay, this is all the types we have. We have the nested if also. Nested if means, suppose see here there is some code. Suppose these 2 lines has to execute when the if condition true. Suppose these 2 lines has to execute when the above condition is true, and then also you have to check one more condition. Means you are checking condition inside condition. That is what nested. Okay, now we'll see how this will get executed. If you see here, I provided I will share with you this document also. Just understand here. See here, when the if condition is alone, when the program continuation start from here, it will check the condition. If the condition true, then this block of code will get executed. Then it will come to the exit. Suppose if the condition failed, then it will not execute this. This will not get executed. Then this flow will come out. Okay, this is how if loop will get executed. Now if you see here how the if else block will get executed. See, the programming flow will come here. It will check the condition. If the condition is true, the code present inside the if block will get executed. If the condition is false, code present in the inside the else block will get executed. Okay, so here either true one code is getting executed, either false one code is executing. Why? Because we are using here if else, both we are using. Okay, now see here the same thing I written here. Okay, now what is if else if ladder statement? See, suppose here in the top how many conditions we are checking? Only one condition we are checking. Now if you want to do, your requirement is to check multiple conditions. Okay, how you are going to write? You are going to write, this is the syntax. I will explain the syntax also. First understand the flow of execution. Suppose see here, when you want to write multiple conditions, this is the flow. Flow will start, it will check whether the condition is true or not, then it will execute this code and it will come out. Suppose it is false, then if it is false means it will come to the second condition. True means it will execute the second condition inside the code, it will come out again. So consider condition third is also false, then it will execute if the condition 3 is true, it will execute the condition block 3 code. Suppose if all the conditions failed, then else block will get executed. It will come out of the conditional statement. This is what the working. Now we'll understand in which situation we require which type of thing. Okay. Now consider, we'll discuss one example. Suppose see here, we'll write one program. Okay, what we are going to write here today means write a program to check. Write a program. Okay, what we are going to write a program to print given number if it is even. So what I'm saying here means, suppose if we are developing an application, consider if the user is entered one number. Suppose if the user is entered 5, we need to check this 5 is even or not. We need to print. Only we need to check the condition. If it is accepted, the condition became true, then we need to print. Suppose what we are doing, suppose see this 5 divided by 2. How do we check the even number means? Okay, divided by 2 if equal to 0, remainder equal to 0. But here the remainder is not 0. Here the remainder is 1. Then means it is odd number, not even number. So we don't print anything, empty. Suppose if the user enter 4, the 4 divided by 2 equal to 0, then it is even number. So what we have to do? Then we have to print yes, it is even number. So what we are doing here? We are just checking one condition. We are just searching for the true condition. We are not searching anything for the false condition. Here the true requirement is if the entered number satisfied the condition, if the condition became the true, then only execute the code. Otherwise no code need to execute. How we are going to develop? See, before that we'll understand what is the syntax to write. What is the syntax? Observe. This is the syntax. This if is the keyword we have to type, then open parenthesis, you have to type your condition, then close the parenthesis, open curly braces, close curly braces. Okay, now observe here, I will explain you clearly this whatever it is there, the syntax. See, if is keyword, you need to open parenthesis, you need to write your condition. What condition you are writing? Suppose the n divided by 2 equal to 0. Then the 0 means then only it is true. Then consider this is the scope starting point, this is the ending point of the if. Whatever the code you are going to write here, this is the block of code. This code will get executed when it is true. Okay, when this code executed, whichever inside the curly braces, this code will get executed when the given condition is true. Okay, now we'll see how to develop the code. Now observe, suppose I am taking here one number, int number equal to, suppose I am taking 5. Okay, then observe here what I am writing. If, okay, I am checking what I am checking here, checking given number is even or not, is even. Only we are checking whether it is even, and that's it. Now suppose see here, if this is the keyword, open parenthesis, we need to write the condition number modulus equal to 2. Okay, then here we need to write, why it is showing error? Sorry, number modulus of 2. No, I didn't write. I'm sorry. Now here you need to print system.out.println. You have to print as it is even number. Observe what we are doing here. We are checking only one condition. When this code will execute, whatever the code inside this block, this is the starting point of the, this is whatever it is there, whatever you are able to see in the blue color, this is what the block of code inside the if. Okay, when this block of code will get executed, when the if condition gives the boolean value. Okay, now observe, we'll execute this code. We are going to save it, we are executing it. See, we are not able to see any output. Why we are not able to see any output? Suppose if you see here, because this condition is not serving. Suppose if I am changing the condition to the 4, if I execute the code, now you are able to see the output here. See, in the console you are able to see, right? Yes, it is even number. So when this piece of code getting executed, when the given number is even, so this is if alone. Okay, this is if alone. Suppose, see, we have a question, write a program to check given number is even or not. So what we are doing here, as of now we are checking even means. Now consider your question has been bit changed. Okay, consider we have changed the question. Understand how. Okay, now observe here, understand how we are going to change the question. Suppose the question is, suppose the user will give one number n equal to 5. You need to check whether the given number is even or not only. But what is the output you have to print? Suppose if the given number is even, if it is true, you need to print yes, it is even number. Okay, suppose if it is not true, if it is false, you have to print no, it is not even number. So what you got here, before you are executing only for the true block. Now what they ask, even though if the condition not satisfied, you have to execute some piece of code, then only we have to go for the if else statement. Now see, I will show the example. Now see here, we have this one already we developed for the checking that one. Okay, now observe here, simple, the simple here you have to understand, nothing we are going to do here. Also the syntax is simple, we have to just type else. In the else, they always remember only conditions will be available in the if block, no condition will be available in the inside the else block. Okay, then observe here, what we have to do, we have to copy. I'm just copying here, you can type, it will improve your typing speed. No, it is not an even number. Now how many conditions we are checking? We are also checking only one condition, but what is the difference? We are executing some piece of code when the condition is getting failed also. Okay, now see, if I execute this code, see, yes, it is even number. Suppose if it is not an even number also, see, this is no, it is not an even number. This is the example for the if else block. Okay, now what we have, another one is Java if else if ladder statement. Means what is here, why I am keeping here ladder statement means, observe what is ladder means, step by step it will be there, right? In the same way, if you want to execute, suppose consider there are 4 blocks of code. Consider there are 4 blocks of code is there. Okay, consider code 1, code 2, code 3, code 4. This has to execute when at some one condition true. When the condition 1 true, it has to execute when the condition 2 is true. It has to execute when the condition 3 is true. It has to execute when the condition 4 is true. So what is the best example I can give you for this is, understand, suppose, observe, we all have a grading system, right? We all have the grading system in the school. So how that grading system will work, here, suppose consider here, the teacher will ask the students how many marks you got. So they'll ask what is the marks. So you will tell something, consider 185 marks you will tell. On what basis they will give grade rank means, they will have some predefined conditions. What is the condition? Suppose if above the 90 or means greater than 90 or equal to 90, if we have to provide A grade. Suppose from 89 to 70 up to 70 we have to provide B grade. Okay, from 69 to 40 consider 69 to 50 we have to provide C grade. Okay, next from 49 to up to 35 we have to provide D grade. Then less than 35 we have to provide the failed status. Correct? Now what they will check, this first they will take these marks. First what they will do, they will take these marks 85, whatever this 85 is there, they will check whether it will come in the first condition. Is 85 greater than or equal to 90? No, it will be false. So no, we are not assigning A grade. Then they will check this 85, whatever the 85 is there, this 85 is in between 89 and 70. Yes, right, 85 is between S, then true. Then they will assign B grade. See, this step is missed, but here it has been matched the condition, so it will execute. The remaining no need of check only. Suppose same thing consider. Okay, suppose teacher called one more student, ask the marks. He told 65. So what teacher will check? Teacher will check whether 65 is greater than or equal to 90. Yes, false. It will check 65 is in between 89 to 70. False. Then teacher will check 65 is between 60 and 50. Then here true. So then they will assign the C grade. Here how many conditions you are checking? To assign the grade for a marks, you are checking multiple conditions. We are checking multiple conditions. So if we want to develop it as a programming, let's see how to will develop. See, observe, if anyone don't know how to write a class, just go here, click new, create Java project. So it will create a project. Then on the source class, right click, new class. So I am providing grading system. Class name is grading system. Now observe what I am doing here. Anything if you want to execute a code, main method is more important. You have to type for the main, control space, then you will get shortcut. Okay, now observe here what I am doing. Okay, now I am considering, I am taking one, suppose system.out.println, I am just taking one, int marks equal to consider I am considering 75. Okay, now I want to provide the grade for this marks. According to our rules, what is the grade? 75 means B grade I need to print. Observe here. First I am checking the first condition. What is the first condition? Marks is greater than 90 or not. So I will type marks greater than or equal to 90. If true, what I need to print? System.out.println. Your grade is A. Okay, suppose if not, else observe, else no condition as I told, but else if, you have to write else space if you remove like this, it will throw error. Every time if you are writing if block code, you need to provide the condition. The condition is mandatory. Without condition it will throw the syntax error. Okay, now consider marks has to be less than 90 and marks should be greater than or equal to 70. This is what in between means. Now if suppose this condition is true means, then you have to print here B grade. Okay, the same way again else if, see else if marks marks less than 70 and marks greater than or equal to 50, then you have to print your grade is C grade. Suppose else if suppose if your marks is less than 50 and marks greater than or equal to 35, then what you have to do, we have to tell him your grade is D grade D. Okay, else suppose consider less than 35. Okay, suppose consider less than 35, else if marks less than 35, then what you'll do, we need to print your fail, otherwise we'll don't give negative, we'll tell try better luck next time. Okay, suppose consider some students what will they'll to tell 101, 102, sir, -1, -2 means that are all not marks only. So what we'll do, else block will write for those kind of situations to handle more than 100. Okay, more than 100, I mean less negative values will handle. First of all, see system.out.println out of range, otherwise we'll give invalid marks. Now observe here, what is our requirement? Now 75 means which grade we need to get? 75 means we need to get B grade. We'll execute the program, we'll see what it will print. See, the grade is B, correct. Suppose if I give less than 30, if I give 34 here. Okay, try better luck next time because he got failed. Okay, consider here -1 I gave. See, try better luck next time it is coming. Why it is coming try better luck next time means, suppose see here only the condition is getting satisfied. -1, consider -1 is less than 35 or not. This condition is getting true, right? That's why it is getting executed. Sir, how to handle this? So then you have to write marks less than 35 and marks greater than or equal to 0. Now if you execute this one, if you give, see, invalid marks. Suppose consider if you given here 100 is fine. Suppose if you given 100, what it has to come? It has to come A grade only. Suppose consider if you given 101, what will happen? It is coming grade A. 101 is valid marks? No. How to handle that? Here you have to write marks less than or equal to 100 and marks greater than or equal to 90. You have to write conditions. See, invalid marks. So here what we are doing, first condition if you are checking, then it will execute the first block of code. Second condition true, second block of code. So this is what the if else if ladder statement. Okay, I think you guys all got cleared. I will share these notes also. If you see, observe, whatever I explained, everything is there. Syntax, why we are writing everything here. I will share this document clearly with you all. Okay, now what I am doing, I will give you some assignment. Okay, please do it at your home whenever you are free. Question is, write a program to print month name by taking input from 1 to 12. What it means, suppose if you give input as a 12, what it has to print? Output it has to print December, it has to print. Okay, suppose if you given input as consider 7, it has to print output is, it has to print July. See, if you given input 13, suppose if you given input as 13, it has to print out of range. It has to print out of range. Suppose if you given -1 also, suppose if you given -1, if you given here minus 1, it has to print out of range only. Not minus 1. 0 given also it has to print out of range. Okay, try to do this programming on your own. Okay, if anything else you are not understanding, suppose if you have some doubts, please ping in the comment section so that I'll try to reply you all. Thanks for watching.